Hi everyone, my name's Amy. Today I'm here with complete plans for how to build this pull-out slat bed for a Honda Element. And while the design is specific for this car, I do think that there's a lot about it that could be easily adapted for another vehicle as well. In the video today, I'll just go through step by step how I built this one. So let's get started. Okay, so the first step is to cut all the pieces. In the assembly drawing, I actually have a full cut list, so it's pretty satisfying to just go through all the lumber and cut everything to size. I also went ahead and rounded over the edges of all the boards before I even started any assembly. I just feel like this makes the fit and finish of the final product a lot better. Okay, so I finished cutting all the pieces for the frame, except for the two kind of funny shaped pieces to fit the Honda Element contour specifically. These pieces here were all cut out of 1x3s. These here are the slats, which will run the width of the bed. These long ones are the rails, which will run the length. These shorter rails will be the pull-out for the pull-out sections. And then this is a truss, which is actually a new thing I'm adding compared to the first bed that I built. I just thought it'd be nice to add some stiffness. So when I bought all this lumber, the first thing I did was pick out the three straightest ones to use for these three long pieces. The rest of these pieces are really short, so it's really easy to get them out of a board that has a slight bend to it. These pieces over here are for the feet. It's hard to tell, but they're all different length. I find that the Honda Element bed, the Honda Element floor slopes downwards as you get closer to the driver's seat. So these ones over here are a little bit longer. For the legs that span this truss, I'm going to go with this plywood sandwich. Now, if you decide to not use a truss, this leg could also easily just be a regular 2x4. And yeah, let's do some assembly. I start by making a big rectangle using the two end slats and the two long rails that run the entire length of the bed. I'm using these aluminum blocks just to help me make sure that all the edges are really well aligned. Now, you can get pretty close squaring it up with just a big square, but my favorite way is just to measure the diagonals, and once I know that they're square, I can lock down all the corners. Next, I mark for the locations of the guide slats, and the location of these slats is really the only important one because the rest of them have pretty big gaps. I started by picking the straightest ones of these slats that I could to serve as the slide guides for the pull-out sections. I also tried to choose the straightest ones for these rails too, which will ride against it. Now, in my previous bed, there were tight gaps between all the slats, and so I actually had to do quite a bit of sanding and tuning afterwards to make sure that there was no binding when the sections were pulled out. With this one, if you notice in the plans, I actually have really big gaps between all the other slats except for these, and so I'm hoping that's going to simplify that problem a lot. I also went ahead and cut these shims. These are made from maple veneer. The purpose of these is to provide a gap between the bottom of this slat and the top of this rail so that it isn't so tight when I go and put the section of bed back in. I found I needed this on the first version of the bed, so I'm just going to go ahead and add that here. And of course, I went ahead and used my laser cutter, but this material cuts really easily with scissors as well. Yep, so let's keep putting it together. You can see here in my excitement to get everything assembled that I forget to align the moving rails, both of them in fact, but after that's fixed, The process for assembling is pretty straightforward. I'm using some paper shims just to provide a little bit of a gap between the rails, which will help with sliding later on. And of course I'm adding that laser cut shim to one side. For spacing the rest of the slats, I cut these little spacer blocks. Putting in the rest of the slats is really fun because of how fast it goes. The only thing to really be careful of here is to be really clear on whether the slat should be screwed into the moving rail or the fixed rail. But the screw pattern is alternating, so it's pretty easy to get it right. For the last slat, the final gap is a little bit off, just due to the width variations on the board, but I'll get over it. Here I am adding a simple paracord handle for the moving sections. I really like this style of handle because they basically never get in the way. For the legs, I rounded over the bottom edges. This makes it easier to handle, and I think it also just helps protect the floor of the vehicle. For installing them, I clamped them in place, and where I could, I would take out an existing screw and just put in a longer screw that would reach all the way down to the leg. And for the 2x4 legs, basically the installation process for all of them was the same. This is the truss, and the board for this was very slightly bent, so I had to get it in place with clamps while attaching with screws. This is a detailed shot of one of the plywood legs being assembled. If you look at the plans, you'll notice that in this video, I'm actually putting the leg in the wrong location, but the process of using a bunch of clamps and screws to hold it in place is the same. And of course, I went ahead and rounded these legs as well. For the funny shape pieces, I could have traced out a template, but I have a laser cutter, so I just scribed the lines directly onto the pieces of wood. After roughing out the shapes on a bandsaw, I smoothed out all the edges using a belt sander, and that leads to some pretty satisfying fits. The process for the bigger pieces was exactly the same. The castellations did require a little bit of tuning, but overall I'm super happy with how these pieces came out. For this big section, I decided to add a little support block. I think in the future this might be a cool place for a secret drawer. One of the last final touches here is adding a chamfer to the end of all the slats. This chamfer really provides a great lead-in and makes collapsing the bed a lot easier. In the assembly drawing, I provide attachment locations for these turnbuckles that work really well for me. For the one in the back, the turnbuckle is screwed directly to the frame, and for this one shown here, the turnbuckle hooks into an eye bolt. And here is a bit of a quick look at how well those contours end up fitting. The space underneath fits 2 of these big Tupperwares plus some extra space, and this is where I usually keep my food and extra gear. I hope you found this video helpful or enjoyable. If you have any questions about the plans, feel free to leave a comment. If you do end up using these plans at all for what you're building, I'd love to hear about it. Please send me a comment or a photo. And that's all. Thank you for watching.